I want to really quickly hit on this Kojima controversy. So I'm sure you guys saw this yesterday. Kojima sent out. So Kojima has two Twitter accounts. He has his native Japanese Twitter account where he tweets in Japanese, and then he has an English account where either he or somebody in his staff tweets a translated version of his tweets out. So he tweeted this. Let me get the right one because there's a few. This was the tweet that got a lot of traction here. It says, quote, a Hideo Kojima game means the declaration of me doing concept, produce, original story, script, setting, game design, casting, dealing, directing, difficulty adjustments, promoting, visual design, editing, supervising the merch, end quote. And everybody just fucking jumped down Kojima's throat about this. They were like, oh man, look at Kojima trying to say he does all this shit. And I posted a tweet. So Jason Schreier posted a tweet, like a joke tweet about it, and quote tweeted this. And I quote tweeted Jason Schreier's and just said, like, has Kojima jumped the shark? And I think some people read that tweet and thought that I was saying, oh, I agree with Jason Schreier here, but I wasn't. But like, I do feel like the narrative tides have turned against Kojima a little bit. I think people are starting to get a little bit tired of Kojima's shtick of being the guy, of being like, you know, he approaches video game development much like a director approaches a movie, you know, and they mention it in this in this story over here. You can read this. This is from Brian Ashcroft over at Kotaku. So and they mention how, like, you know, it's a Spike Lee joint, it's you know, a Guillermo del Toro film, or, you know, like how directors attach their names to these movies and make it seem as if they're the ones that are making it, when in reality there's a big crew around them who was helping them to deliver on their vision. And I get people's frustration maybe with Kojima, but I feel like we have this sensitivity towards developers, and we like to make them feel more shortchanged in areas like this, when in reality we should be fighting for how they're shortchanged in other areas. And this was just like a controversy that was created out of a place where there was no controversy, because if you were to read the tweet, I mean, if you were to translate the tweet from Japanese, and full transparency, I don't speak or read Japanese, but what he really said was essentially, a Hideo Kojima game means I am involved in all of these things, in the concept, producing, original story, script. Like, he is involved in all these things, and I do believe that. I think Kojima is one of those guys who spreads himself across the project. He wants his fingerprints on everything. He wants to know, you know, what the left hand is doing while keeping tabs on the right hand as well. Like, he cares. And so, look, I get a little exhausted by the narrative around Kojima. I think it has less to do with him and more to do with his fan base that just kind of places him on this pedestal and, you know, talks about him as if he's some sort of enigmatic god or something. Like, I get frustrated and exhausted by that. But I think Kojima loves games. He fucking loves video games. He loves film. He loves art. And, like, I think he's doing cool things. And so let's just give a guy who doesn't speak English the benefit of the doubt when he says something a little strange in English on his Twitter account. And now Kojima probably could do with somebody who was looking at it and you know, could help him to say what he is actually wanting to say a little better. But yeah, I saw this shit yesterday and was just like, this is so exhausting. Like, this is just, we're making controversies where controversies shouldn't exist. It doesn't fucking matter. Kojima is not trying to say he does everything for the game. We'd still be waiting on Metal Gear Solid 1 if that was the case. Roy Speedrun says, I don't understand why art house games aren't appreciated. When you say art house games, Roy Speedrun, like, what games are you talking about? Like, ones where it's just like, hey, this is one creator who really does do all these things. Because I think every year you get like one or two of those games that really, like, you know, I think about Cuphead. Cuphead was made by a team of like 3 people. You know, hand-drawn art, awesome level design, those sorts of things. And like, Cuphead is revered. You know, Celeste, made by, I think, just a handful of people as well. Like, really revered. So I think that there is a growing appreciation for art house. I think that there's still a negative perception around like, oh man, they're all just like walking simulators or text adventures and shit like that. When in reality, like a lot of these games have really fun gameplay, really interesting worlds and characters. So yeah, can we just stop? Oh, are you talking about Death Stranding? Because he says everyone is ranting about I don't get it, but the idea behind it feels like it's supposed to be cryptic. It's going to be an experience. I'm part of that I don't get it crowd. Like, and I'm one of those people that, like, again, I'm more exhausted around the narrative around Death Stranding than I am necessarily about Death Stranding. And I'm to the point where I'm like, look, the only person I can trust, whose opinion I can trust about Death Stranding is my own. I can't trust anybody else on what they have to say about this game. I just can't do it. Because everybody's either ready to crown this thing a fucking masterpiece or say that it's trash. I'm like, I just want to play it. Enough talking about it. I'm done watching trailers. I'm done listening to, all the details. Like, I'm going to wait for the game to come out. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to establish my own thoughts on the game. And I'm going to die with those thoughts. I'm going to take them to the grave with me.